You're gonna do this because you got no choice. You work for me.
You keep changing the rules. You know, you're getting a little power drunk. Richard, you want to tell him, Edith? You want to wake him up?
Oh, no, I said we shouldn't do any of it, Irving. You know I said that. So now I support Richie. He's got vision. Do it heavy or don't do it.
What does that mean? I mean, he's the one ruining America, not me.
Ruining America.
People just got over Watergate and Vietnam, all right? Because you want to be a big shot, get a promotion.
No, I'm thinking big. All right, this is gonna be fantastic. We're doing video surveillance. I'm doing this from the feet up.
You will never do it properly because you got too much government attitude to be small and sleek. I'm like the Viet Cong, man, all right? I'm in and I'm out. I was there the whole time. You don't know it, all right? That's an art of becoming somebody who people can pin their beliefs and their dreams on.
That was a clip of American Hustle, and I'm pleased to be joined by writer and director David Russell. It's a pleasure to see you again, sir.
It's a pleasure to see you again.
This time last year, we were congratulating you on nominations and awards for Silver Linings Playbook, and we find ourselves here again as well for this fantastic film. Congratulations! It's a great ride to be part of watching that film. I want to start off by asking you. You love people. That's what I always come away from your films feeling, that you're a real people person. You love characters and you love people and telling their story. Would you agree?
That's completely the whole thing. That's the heart of the matter to me. That began when I wrote Silver Linings Playbook and then made The Fighter. I didn't get to make Silver Linings until after The Fighter because I couldn't get it financed. But really, a whole new person I became, and writer and filmmaker, after sort of almost a 10-year period of struggling with many things. But when I came out of it, having taken care of a bipolar son and being divorced and getting broke, I came much closer from a place of instinct and heart, and suddenly storytelling about people was very clear to me in a soulful way. So yes, it's the people that I love and have a great affection for, and that's why I make these stories. So that's what I loved in the American Hustle, was that the characters, the characters above all, and then the story really serving them.
How do you make us as film fans love, empathize, sympathize with these people that, we probably, not that keen on them, or, they do things that you don't agree with, or how do you do that?
Well, you have to love them yourself. So, and the actors, so Christian and I begin with talking about this man as a soulful person that we can identify with, whether it's the fellow in The Fighter or the fellow in Silver Lining, American Hustle, someone that we love, who has a heart, who loves people in his life, he loves the women in his life, he loves his child, and he loves his craft as a craft, as an art, and that's passion, for a particular style. It's a very particular person then. He loves Duke Ellington. She loves Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington was a creation of his own elegance. He was a butler's son who created Duke Ellington. And Duke Ellington strove to create music that he would describe as beyond category. So that's what we're all doing, is trying to create a feeling, a music, characters, a world that feels beyond category, that is fresh and emotional. And in that there is enchantment and love and terrible mistakes and reckoning. The whole movie's a reckoning for people from the very beginning. And it's just like what Rosalind says about the nail finish, really, to answer your question. Jennifer Lawrence, a character, and she and I discovered this nail polish. She had these Long Island nails, which are luscious and sumptuous, and as she is, yet she says, there's a nail finish from Switzerland that I can't find, and she loves it, and it's intoxicating, the smell of it. And she says the great perfumes of the world, historically, all have something a little nasty in them, a little rotten in them. That's what gives them that deep richness that makes your whole body biologically kind of sit up and pay attention, like in nature, like the whatever those things can come out of the glands of animals, that make them pay attention to each other. It has a base, it has a bottom, it has a richness to it that opera needs. Without it, it would all be treble and flowers, and that's like your grandmother's perfume. That's kind of just smells like rose water or something. That's lacks depth, that is dark and mysterious, like life is. So that's like the flaws of the characters, and that was the discovery with the Christian Bale character in both films that we did together. And all these people, is their flaws become the gateway to the real beauty, if they're reckoning with them, if they're people with hearts who care, as opposed to pathological and not caring.
I'm fascinated to read about how you shoot as well, in terms of you don't have the whole kind of video village thing. It's you're in there, you light a scene 360, you have the steady cam, which seems quite a unique way of filming. I don't know, I haven't been on many film sets and stuff, but why is that the way that you want to do things? Why do you shoot like that?
I would say half of it, well, there's three parts to it. One part is practical, that when you're shooting briskly, when you make character-based cinema, even, and this includes any of these three films, you don't get a lot of time or money to do it, and that's okay. I embrace that and use it as part of the process to become more immediate and passionate in our work. It means it feels a bit intense, almost like there was a little fire in one part of the house and you need to get out of the house. I mean, before, as the film is burning. And we did shoot film, the last existing Fuji stock in existence, and we'll have to find some other film stock for the next time. So in lighting it that way, you walk on a set, there's nothing obstructing. I don't want the filmmaking process to get in the way of the emotional and life process of the actors. I want them to almost forget that they're acting. So I want everyone to get lost in what Christian Bale calls the operatic dream of cinema, or the operatic dream of a character. It's like a waking dream. So if you keep shooting, and it's a room that looks just like any other room, you don't call cut, and they get into a rhythm of repeating the scene with me talking to them without stopping the camera. So they'll do the scene and I'll talk, which also makes it less precious. Like, okay, now you're on, now you're off. Now you're on, now you're off. You're just in it. We're in it together. Yeah. And something happens when they keep doing it. De Niro called it a great immediacy and not thinking. You stop thinking. That all happens when I'm in the room there next to the Steadicam, which is also unobtrusive. So there's no lights in the room.
Music, to you, sir, is a very important tool in your filmmaking. Well, it seems that way anyway, being a film and music fan. How do you use music? What do you use music for in your films? Is it almost a character?
Yes, it's an emotional vein of blood. I feel like there's a rhythm or a heartbeat to the whole movie, and it's the emotion, the dialogue, the camera movement, and the music. That's the holy trifecta for me. And very often songs are written into the script. For example, the Duke Ellington, as the cornerstone of their romance, that was written. I gave each of them the vinyl of that song, Jeeps Blues, Amy Adams and Christian Bale, so they could listen to it and learn it and love it. And Amy, in pre-production, I found her dancing to it, which then gave birth to more dimension of her character. And this movie has very musical, it keeps becoming more musical. There's a great enchantment to their romance and dancing, not only to Duke Ellington, but also to I've Got Your Number, which Jack Jones himself sings in the movie, and he's an equal of Tony Bennett. He's a contemporary of Tony Bennett, who's extraordinary. So those are written in and planned. Live and Let Die, obviously, is something that Jennifer had to learn, and we were fortunate to get the rights from Paul McCartney to use. When we shot it, we didn't know if we could get the rights, and we had the help of Barbara Broccoli and Colleen Camp in London trying to help us talk to Mr. McCartney.
It's a great
Sony.
scene. Wow.
Did you like it?
Just the marigolds, the hair going crazy, just the
What'd you call them?
Marigolds?
Oh, we don't call that in America.
What do they call it in America?
Is that what you call rubber cleaning gloves? Oh, that's great. The rubber. I said I had a vision of her wearing yellow rubber cleaning gloves, or I guess I now know marigolds, and so that and sort of singing her Declaration of Independence song. Sometimes you must get very angry to make a difficult change in your life, and that's what that became about. We weren't sure where it would go, but we knew that it would be part of her declaration of angry independence. So to have the trust of your actors who will take those risks with you, even when it isn't clear how or where, but they're excited. It's all about the exuberance or the exhilaration. When I leave a movie that I feel has been alive, I feel exhilarated. And that's our aim in creating these characters and this world, is to create characters that are exhilarating, and the filmmaking that's exhilarating. And the music is a huge part of that.
Our time's up, I'm afraid. I'm gutted, but I've got to ask before we go, what's next? Because you have left me, you know, excited to come out, loving these characters, and need the next hit. What's next?
I don't know yet, but I know that it will be. It's been a bit. It's been inspiring to make these pictures in such fast succession.
3 and 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which you know, it's good. You know, if you don't work really much for 10 years, then by the time you get it, when it reveals itself to you, you go. You know, and so that's a blessing to see and feel and go from instinct. So it will present itself. The right idea, and I maybe work with some of these great members of this repertory I've been privileged to have. You know, the Bradley Coopers, the Christian Bales, the Jennifer Lawrences, the Amy Adams, now the Jeremy Renner, the Mr. De Niro, Louis C.K. That's a blessing, and I'll write something for them and create something for them that sometime this coming year.
And in the meantime, pick up some awards along the way.
Knock on wood.
Come on.
We're just happy to be. We're just happy people see the picture. Frankly, you got. It's the only way you got to look at it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming out.
Nice to see you again. Thanks.
Good to see you. Good to see you.